Welcome to GK Mojo. So in this 30 days CAT challenge, we are back with another session and another video wherein we are going to cover cons. So guys, thank you for your overwhelming response that we are getting for the videos, and we have been getting continuous pings from students to continue the series in the way that we are doing and maybe upload more videos on the same. We've been also getting requests to put up questions videos and concept videos for IFT as well, and hence we are curating a special series for you. All right, please keep following our channel from time to time so that you do not miss any important video that is coming up, because you know that less than 30 days are left. All right, we need to maximize our preparation, and we are going to completely assist you and help you in doing so. Let's get started with this video. Let's have a look at the first question. I've given you a hint of solving such sort of questions in the previous video as well. All right. Whenever you have such a symmetrical equation, what is a symmetrical equation? That if I, let's say, replace A with B, all right, and if I replace B with C and C with something, all right, we interchange the positions, the equation is still going to remain the same. All right. You can see the symmetry over here. When A is there, below B and C is there. When B is there, below C and A is there. When C is there, below A and B is there, right? So there is this symmetry. Whenever you have this symmetry, you can safely assume that A is equals to B is equals to C. All right, so let's suppose these are arbitrary numbers. Let's say A is equal to B is equals to C is equals to 1, right? So what is it asking is, then each fraction is equal to, so let's say A upon B plus C. So everything is equals to 1, so it's 1 by 2. Similarly, this is equals to 1 by 2 and this is also equals to 1 by 2. So basically each fraction is equals to 1 by 2, which is option B. Now if you would not have known this method, that when equations are symmetric you can directly have the variables equal to each other, you would have ended up solving this by a lot of lengthy methods, all right, which is not preferable in your cat will always ask you questions wherein you can sneak in some or the other smart concept and solve the question using the options or other substitutions. All right, let's move on to the next question. So the next question is 6x square plus 6y square is equals to 13xy. This is the equation given. What is the ratio of x and y? All right. Now there are methods wherein you expand this equation, divide it by this and that, and get to the ratio of x and y. I would not recommend you to go in that way. All right. Be very smart about this, guys, and such type of questions have appeared in cat. I'm not like telling you this just for the explanation part that we are going to go in this way, but such type of methods have been applied to previous questions in cat as well. All right, options are given to you. Okay, simply do one thing. 6x square plus 6y square is equals to 13xy, right? So let's use this option. All right, place x ke jagah pe 1, all right, and y ke jagah pe 4, again 1 and 4. All right, this is square. So 6 into 1 is 6, all right, and 6 into 16 is 96, right? So this is like 102, all right. And over here, what is it? Here right hand side we get 13 into 1 into 6, which is 78. So first option is not satisfying. All right, let's check for the second option. All right, so 6 into 3 square, all right, plus 6 into 2 square, all right, and over here right hand side will be 13 into 2 into 3. Okay, so this is what, this is 6 into 9, which is 54, all right, and this is 6 into 4, which is 24. So the total comes out to be essentially 78, right? What do you get over here? 13 into 6, which is 78. Matches. You don't need to check other options. Option B is the correct choice. All right, this is the way that you need to solve questions in a smart way. Let's have a look at the next question. Very good question. They have framed it in a very nice way. All right, a storyline has been created and this can be solved by using basic concept. A small aeroplane flies with a speed which is directly proportional, which varies directly as the aeroplane's altitude. All right, and the amount of goods in it it's carrying. Okay, that is the weight of the goods. At a certain altitude, its speed is 50 meters per second. What will be the speed if the altitude now is half and the weight of goods is double? Okay, so there is this case 1. All right, so what happens in this case 1 is this speed of the aeroplane is directly proportional to the altitude, that is A. All right, and it's inversely, okay, I missed out over here, it's inversely proportional to the amount of goods. More the goods, the lesser the speed, hence inversely proportional. So inversely. All right, So this is what this is how you get proportionalities. All right, so basically whenever you get a proportionality, guys, if you want to make this equal, just introduce a constant over here. This constant remains same for all the calculations. So this is k over here. Take a arbitrary constant that we have taken. Now what they say in this case s1, all right, this k remains as it is. All right, there's this altitude a, and the, let's say the amount of goods is g. All right, so this is given as 50 meter per second. Now what happens in case 2? All right, what happens in case 2? This k would remain the same, right? This k would remain the same, and the altitude is half, that is a by 2, and the goods have doubled, which is 2 into g, right? So they are asking what is the speed now. All right, you have to do nothing, but you have to just a second, I'll just clear it out over here. All right, so s1 upon s2, that is 50 upon s2, is equals to this k gets cancelled, a gets cancelled, g gets cancelled, right? So what do you get? You get 1 by 4 over here, right? Hence speed 2 is equals to 50 by 4, which is 12.5 meters per second, and that is your correct answer, guys. So let's have a look at this question. Again, a very good question. In a Tesla factory, there are 4 machines that make engines for a factory. ठीक है, 4 मशीन है. द फास्टेस्ट मशीन कैन मेक 1 इंजन इन 2 आवर्स. तो जो फास्टेस्ट है वो 2 घंटे में एक इंजन बनाता है. एंड द स्लोएस्ट मशीन कैन मेक 1 इंजन इन 3 आवर्स, एंड द स्लोएस्ट इज 3 आवर्स पर इंजन. Which of the following cannot be the value of average time taken by 4 machines together to make 1 engine? All right, so they are asking what cannot be the average value of average time taken to create or make a engine. All right, so fastest machine makes it in 2 hours. All right, and slowest machine makes it in 3 hours, right? So the funda to do this is calculate the minimum average time and the maximum average time, and then let's compare them with our options. That is the best way forward. All right, so let's say that other 2 engines, see, for 1 engine it's 2 hours, for 1 engine it's 3 hours. For other 2 engine, let's say they are working at the fastest capacity, this is 2 hours and 2 hours, right? So what would be the average time? Average time would be 5 plus 4, 9, which would be 2.25. This is the minimum average time. Why it's minimum average time? Because the other 2 engines, which we do not know how much time they take, we have assumed that they work on the fastest capacity, so 2.25 hours. All right, this is the minimum possible average time. Similarly, what would be the maximum average possible time? The other 2 engines, now we will consider them working at the slowest capacity, right? We'll consider them working at the slowest capacity. So there is this one engine which is fastest, slowest one which is fastest, and the other 2 which we do not know the value are working at the slowest capacity. So we get the maximum average time. So यहाँ पे what you will get, 9 plus 2 is 11, 11 by 4 is 2.75 hours. So this is your range. All right, this is your range. Now compare it over here. So you can see that the only value which is not lying between 2.25 to 2.75 is option A, and hence that is the correct answer. I hope you would have understood how to solve such type of questions. Let's have a look at this question. Guys, this seems to be a very easy question, but a lot of students who have tried to solve this, when I've given them, they've fumbled in doing so, and they've ultimately left it in between. All right, so this is a different type of ratio question that we have. So A is to B plus C का ratio they have given us as 4:5. All right, A is to B plus C. Similarly, यहाँ पे C is to A plus B का ratio they have given us as 7:11. One thing that you should always keep in mind when you have such type of question is A plus B plus C देख लो कितना है. So यहाँ पे it's 9, यहाँ पे it's 18, right? 9 and 18. Now luckily what happens is you can equate them by making it 18 also in the numerator. So when you do that, this would be multiplied by 2 and this would be multiplied by 2, right? So this would be 8 and this would be 10. This is the new ratio because we have made this also 18, right? So now what is the equation that you have? This is 8:10, right, for this, and for this as it is, right, it was 7:11. Okay, what have they asked? They have asked you B. Okay, so B, they have asked you A plus C. A plus C क्या है? 8 plus 7, all right, which is 15, right? As simple as that. Now A plus B is 11, right? And b ka and a ka value is what did you get a ka value as 8, right? So 8 plus b is equal to 11, b is equals to 3, 3 comes over here, 3 ones are 3 fives are, final ratio is 1 is to 5. That is the correct answer to this question is 1 is to 5, and this is how you need to solve the question. Please pause the video, try it again. All right, if you are getting confused, please try to do it on your own, you will understand. Just work in ratios. All right, we only made this ratio as 18, we multiplied it by 2 so that both of them are equal. Let's have a look at this last question. All right, a very good question again. All right, this will help you to think in a proper way. All right, all of these questions which I have selected, guys, these questions will force you to think in a different way in your exam. Ratio of income of ABC is 11 is to 9 is to 13, and the ratio of their expenditure is 2 is to 3 is to 4. Saving of B is 1/3 of its income. Then find the ratio of the savings. Many students of their savings means of A plus B of A is to B is to C. All right, this is what you need to find. A is to B is to C. Many students whom I gave this question told me that it's not possible to find out. It cannot be determined, should be the answer. That's why I've never given you an option. All right, let's see how we can solve this. Income. A is to B is to C. What have they given? 11 is to 19 is to 13. Correct. And savings. All right. Savings they have not given us. All right. Saving they have only given us for, sorry, this is 9. Saving they have only given us for B, which is how much? 1/3 of its income. Income is 9. So saving will be 1/3 of 9, which is 3. Right. If this is the saving, all right. So the expenditure is what? It's income minus saving, should be 6, right? But if you closely observe this ratio of expenditure for A is to B is to C, it's 2 is to 3 is to 4. So this 3 corresponds to 6. So this 2 should corresponds to 4, and this 4 should corresponds to 8. So it should be 4, 6, 8, right? Now you can easily find the savings ratio, okay? Because this was 9 minus 6, you got the saving of B as 3. 11 minus 4, you will get 7 over here. 13 minus 8, you will get 5 over here. And the final ratio for savings will be 7 is to 3 is to 5, and that is your correct answer. So that's all in this video, guys. Please keep visiting us daily because we are going to upload very, very important questions and concepts for you till the day you sit for your CAT. That's all in this video. Thanks a lot.